Okay, so let's come to our mat. Just muting everybody there, just to make sure we're nice and clear. Okay, so I'll just tilt my screen slightly just for the moment whilst we're doing the standing work so you can see me nice and clearly. Okay, so let's just think of our Pilates posture this morning. Feet hip distance apart, nice and soft through those knees so that we're not locking those knees. Just draw the shoulders down away from the ears, slightly feeling the shoulder blades come together at the back. Relax through the hands. Okay, and let's just do some nice breathing exercises this morning with the movement of the arms. So we're going to turn the palm of the hands upwards, and we're going to inhale as we lift and stretch up to the ceiling, looking up, and exhale out through the mouth. So these are just nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. And again, inhaling up and exhaling out, and inhale up and exhale out. Good. Then we're going to do it a little bit more purposeful. We're going to breathe in for 4 and out for 8. So in, 2, 3, 4, out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Twice more. In, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2 more. In. For 4 and out for 8. Last time. In for 4 and out for 8. Good. Okay, then just give those shoulders, those arms, those wrists and those fingers a little bit of a shake, and then let's shake out through those feet and those ankles as well. That's it. Good. Perfect. Okay, gentle movements of the head and neck. Just bring the chin in towards the chest into flexion, and then gently look up towards the ceiling. A couple more times, just gently in your own time, taking those standing repetitions. One more. That's it. Good. And bring the head back to center, and we're just going to rotate right and left a couple of times. Again, just in your own time, noticing if you are more free moving your head one direction than you are the other this morning. Back to center, and then let's incline over to the side. Just pause for a moment and put that hand across and just feel the opening of the top of the shoulder and the neck. Take a nice deep breath in, come back to center and over to the other side. Little pause there, a couple of breaths with the hand on that opposite shoulder again. We're just going to do that once more, but we're going to bring the hand instead to the top of the shoulder. We're going to bring that same hand on that same side we're leaning to the top of the head, and we're just going to round forward slightly. And then your free hand, just let that hang out in front of the body a little bit, just so you get that nice opening between the shoulder blades. And come back up again. Couple of shoulder rolls in the center, and then we'll do that the other side. Okay, so we incline ear to shoulder. We bring that same arm up on the same side. Draw forwards, chin to chest, soften the knees, curve forward slightly, and let that free arm just hang out in front a little bit, just to increase that stretch through the shoulder blades. Take a nice deep breath in and out, and come back up. Good. Another few shoulder rolls, nice and big there. You might want to take the hands onto the top of the shoulders just to mobilize out through the chest and the shoulder girdle a little bit more. That's it. One more time. Good. And then we're going to bring straight out and just take a couple of full arm circles with that bend. 3 more. Good. 2 and 1. Good. Okay, hands on those hips. Let's just sink both knees, soften both knees, sorry, and lift off one heel. Okay, weights in both legs still, and we're just going to alternate those heel lifts and weight transferences just to warm up. Try not to let those hips go too much. Try and keep the hips nice and square, the knees soft, and we're just stretching out through the foot. Then we're going to pause with one heel lifted, and we're just going to come onto the front of the foot and just sink our weight a little bit further down, just to see if we can bring some stretch in through the front of that ankle and toes. And then we're going to go the other way, sink down, soften the knees, come onto the front of the foot, relax down. Lovely. And then come to stand and just take some ankle and foot circles there. That's it. A few round one way, and then change that direction and go the other. Okay, and then change legs. So we're really thinking of that balance and that length as we're doing those ankle circles. That's it. And lower down. Okay, so this is a chance that if you have that thick yoga block, or you have your ball or rolled up cushion, we're going to grab whatever we have. If we haven't got anything, we're just going to stand feet hip width with the hands on the hips parallel. Okay, if you have, you're going to place the item in between the knees. Okay, and then place your hands back onto your hips. Think about all those postural points. Shoulders away from ears, neutral in the pelvis, rib to hip connection. Okay, we're going to breathe in and we're going to lift both heels as we squeeze against that block or cushion. And then we're going to exhale. We're just going to try and lower slowly as we can. So you really want to think as you're lifting up and down that you're squeezing those knees and inner thighs together. And hopefully feeling that activation of the inner thighs is bringing that activation up into that primary sling of the body, and you're feeling that core engage as well as we draw those knees together to squeeze that item. Let's do 5 more. So we're really going for nice slow rises. Slow and controlled is the way forward this morning. And if you don't have a block between your knees, it doesn't matter. Still think of activating that inner thigh area, squeezing the inner ankles together, drawing tall from the crown of the head as well, and soften those shoulders. So sometimes when that concentration goes into ankles, we end up shrugging those shoulders up. So just make sure they're down as well. Good. Okay, just relax the heels down, but keep the item in between the knees. Okay, this time take the arms out to the side. Little variation, which we have done before, but not for a while. If you watch me, we're going to rise. We're going to hold the heel lift as we bend the knees, squeezing the block of the ball, lower the heels, and then come up to straight legs. So we're going up to the rise, join in when you can. We're going to bend, squeeze the item between, lower the heels, and come up. Okay, 3 more. Lift into a rise, controlled knee bend, but keep those heels lifted. Then lower the heels, then come up. So we're really activating that inner thigh area. We're working the legs, we're keeping the core engaged. 1 more this way, and then we're going to reverse it. So we start with the bend. Okay, so come to center, just re-establish that connection. If you need to readjust whatever's in between your knees, shoulders away, scapula draw down the back. We're going to bend both knees. We're then going to hold the bend but lift the heels. Squeeze even more and come up to straight legs, and then slowly lower those heels down. Okay, so we bend first. We then lift the heels, squeeze the block, come up to straight, and then we lower them down. Good, 4 more. I'm just going to have a little sneaky look. That's it, don't worry. We're just having a quick look just to make sure everyone's okay with that one. That's it. And just be aware, soften those shoulders. I see a couple of you have just lifted those shoulders up. So the arms are out to the side, but as you're doing these, we're staying nice. And that's it, lovely. Okay, so 1 more of those. And then you can take that block or ball between your knees and just pop down to the side. And then we're going to come and stand a little bit wider now, ready for a couple of plie variations. Okay, so this is a nice deep plie that we're taking. Weight, try and think of it as coming off the inner arch of the foot and coming to the outer edge of the foot, the heel and the little toe. Okay, not so that we lift the inner arch off, just so that we're opened up. Okay, and if you bend your knees now for me, just make sure that that weight hasn't sunk forwards and those knees are rolling in. Keep those knees over the toes. Okay, and just come up. So we're going to add the arms. We're going to bend down, reach up as our legs straighten. We're going to bend down again, and when our legs straighten this time, we bring the arms across the body. So it's a continuous down and up, down and hug. 8 more, and up, down and hug. So just make sure as you're doing this, you're thinking of that core activation. You're taking the movement nice and gently. We're just warming up into those plie flexions and extensions. You might want to switch the leading arm on those hugs each time you come in. 4 more, down and up, down and hug. Good. 3. Just warming up, and just watch that those knees are not rolling in and forwards. Keep that weight on the outer foot and the little toe on the outside of the heel. 1 more. That's it, good. And just release those arms down. Okay, 2 options for this next one. We're going to take the hands to the head, either side, soften those shoulders. The option is to stay in this position here without the bend, or we can add a gentle just a shallow plie onto this. And we're going to take our side crunch and return to center, doing 8 either way. So I'm going to my left, I'm going to breathe in. Exhale as I crunch, inhale as I come up. 7, 6. So remember, we're thinking of putting that orange in between our rib and our hip. We're coming slightly forwards with that side bend. So imagine squeezing that juice out of the orange. So make yourself that fresh orange that you can save for your post-workout. 1 more. Come back to center. Stay in that plie if you can, if you're in the plie, and take them the other way. So exhale as you squeeze, inhale as you come back up. So we're just challenging the stability of the legs and the balance as we're taking those side bends as well. So yes, we're working into these obliques, but we're also making sure we stay in that nice secure plie. 3 more. Good, last one. Good, and come up if you have been down from that. Just give those legs a little shake if you've been in that plie. Just soften them off for a moment. And then if you just watch me, I'm going to demo our next exercise. Okay, so everybody is going to come into a plie with the arms out to the side. We're then going to shift more of our weight to our standing leg. As we release this foot, we rotate the leg in and we come into a side lunge position. We then open out to come back to our plie, and then we close down and in the other side, so we come into a parallel lunge. Okay, and open out. So we're going to do 10 of those open outs. So come in with me in this position, take the arms out, soften the knees, soften the shoulders. Inhale here, exhale, turn the leg in, release the foot so we're not twisting in the knee, and release to turn back out again. And the other way, we fold in and we open out. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale. So on the position changes, we're exhaling. On the bend and on the prep, we're inhaling. That's it, good. Keeping those shoulders soft. Keeping the movement nice and gentle. We don't need to bend too deep. 3, 2, 1. After this last one, just relax, and I want you to watch me for this next demo. So this time you're going to pause to the side, so you're in your parallel lunge position, and take the hands to the hips. Okay, so I'm going to take even weight on my legs, my back heel's lifted. I'm going to bend into a lunge a little bit lower as if I'm going to take that knee down, and I'm exhaling to come back up. So we're going to do some side flexions and extensions. Okay, so facing the side in that parallel position here. Hands on the hips, soften those shoulders. Weight evenly through both legs, even though your back heel is lifted. Inhale on the way down, push the floor away, exhale on the way up. Inhale down, exhale. So what we don't want to do is let the hips sink. We want to keep the knees nice and parallel. And we're feeling the effort within both legs. 3 more, inhale, exhale. So this is a really good standard exercise for anybody to increase that leg strength and that balance. And then step in, maybe just give it a little shake. And we're going to go on that second side. So switch the behind leg. Okay, shift the weight forwards to release the heel, and then just shift that weight back into the center. And let's go. Inhale, soften down, exhale. Inhale down. Now, if you want to add the pelvic floor contraction with that one, we inhale to soften pelvic floor, exhale, scoop and lift up. Inhale, soften the pelvic floor, exhale, draw the pelvic floor inwards and upwards on the exhale. Inhale to softening, exhale to lifting. 5 more, inhale. Okay, if that's too strong on the legs, make your stance a little bit narrower and don't bend down quite as far. Okay. If you want that challenge, you are taking that back knee almost down to the mat and pushing back up again. 1 more time, and we can step in and relax. Okay, we're just going to do a quick standing quadricep stretch. You know that you need to come to something to hold on. You can move. Okay, so I'm going to demo holding on to this side. From parallel, I'm going to soften both knees. I'm going to reach to the front of my ankle, and I'm just going to bring my knees in line with my hips there. Okay, so if I do that facing the side, I've come down, coming into that quadricep stretch, That's it. And I'm not letting my back arch or my leg go behind. I'm tucking my tailbone underneath and feeling that stretch through the front of the thigh. Just hold that and breathe for another couple of seconds. And then release and go on that second side. Okay, so holding on if you need to. Grabbing the leg is probably the hardest part of that stretch. So just do what you need to do. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Knee in line, not open and not backwards. That's it. Breathing, feeling that stretch through the front of the thigh there. Good. And just release that down. Good. And give everything a little shake again. A couple of arm lifts and lowers. Okay, I think that's all I had planned for your standing work. I'll just double check or else I will regret that one. Perfect. Okay, so let's come down to our mat to begin this progressive abdominal work. So anyway we need to, we're going to come down onto our backs. Okay, so we're going to roll down through the spine. And just to start with, I'm going to extend my left leg and I'm going to bring my right leg in towards my body, and I'm just going to take some nice big hip circles, just moving that knee. I'm going to take a few inwards and then a few outwards. That's it. And then just switch legs with that one. So extend the other leg, draw the other leg in towards the chest and just take some of those circles there. That's it. Lovely. Just warming up through the knees and the hips, sorry. That's it. And then bend both knees, bring those feet hip width. Okay, I'm just going to warm up through the core. So a few pelvic tilts just to start with the hands on the front of the hip bones. We're just rocking from that anterior to posterior tilt, just moving through those two arches of the spine and just noticing how that feels today. Okay, 2 more of these and then we're going to come into our Pilates imprint. Okay, so after this last anterior tilt, we're going to tilt slightly posteriorly. We're going to imagine squishing a little blueberry underneath our lower back, but not a huge press. Okay, we're thinking of sliding the front of the rib cage down into our front pocket, so shorten the distance between ribs and hips and draw inwards and upwards with the pelvic floor. So we've got that nice control. Place the arms out to the side, lift one leg to tabletop and then lift the second leg to tabletop without changing that control. If that's too strong, you can keep one leg down and you can take your toe dips from here, alternating legs on the floor. Otherwise, we're just going to take 10 toe dips and returns. But the head stays relaxed, the shoulders stay relaxed, and that core stays in neutral. Okay, if you know that you're quite strong in this exercise, just take the arms off and just feel how that lack of stability of the hands either side of the body just helps engage that core a bit more. So we're keeping that knee at 90, we're hinging from the hip, and we're not letting it affect that core. 4 more. 4, inhale, exhale away. So we're just warming up a little bit to start with our repetitions, and then lower both down. Let's come into a full body stretch, legs away, arms up and away, and this time we can arch the back, come out of Pilates imprint for a moment. Feel that stretch. I like to reach through one hand and the other just to get that nice opening position. Bring the arms back down by your side, draw those knees bent, hip width again, and we're going to go for our single leg stretch. So 2 levels of single leg stretch. Level 1, your knees coming in, you're holding around the top of the knee, and your second leg is going up but quite high. And you are going to be stretching, alternate leg towards the ceiling and drawing the knee in, but you're keeping your head down and your legs high. Second level, which most of you will do, let's bring the knee in. We're holding around the top. We're going to then extend the leg away to 45 degrees. We're going to nod the chin. We're going to come up into an ab curl, and we're going to take our single leg stretches from here. Okay, so wherever you are, let's take 10. Exhaling on the switch, inhale in the center. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release down. We're going to do that 10 again just to keep warming up. Okay, so just take a few knee and hip circles with the head released down. Ready for our second set. So remembering level 1s, you are switching, but you're keeping that core imprint and you're keeping your head down. Okay, level 2s, we're coming up to ab curl. One knee in towards the chest, one leg away. Lift the chest towards the legs and then begin your single leg switches. Remember to bring the body to the legs, not the leg to the body, and keep the chin slightly tucked so we're not looking up towards the ceiling. Look straight ahead of you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and lower down. Okay, whilst you're having a rest, I'm just going to demo the single leg, the double leg stretch, but with options. Okay, so double leg stretch, we are going to be up into an abdominal curl, and we're going to hold round the top of one leg as we draw it in. So double leg stretch, we inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we extend that leg, and we take the arms behind. We then circle them round, and we draw the leg back in. So this could be done with the head down as well if you needed to. So that is the action. Arms away, leg away, without losing the core engagement, and back round. Okay, so you've got the option to have the body in the abdominal curl or double leg stretch, taking both legs away, circle the arms around and come back in. Now I'm actually still at this level here with one leg. So the harder you work, you're going to take both legs away, but maybe possibly a little bit lower and then circle back in. If you started already, just have a little rest and then we'll go for 10 all together. So obviously if you're doing one leg, you do 5 each side. So let's prep. I'm going to demo level 1, but with the ab curl. Inhale here, exhale, extend arms and legs. Inhale, return in. Good. Okay, so we're coming up to 5. So if you're on singles like me, you're going to switch your working leg. Otherwise, 5 more doubles for those that have that control. Can you keep that lumbopelvic control as you're taking this exercise? 2 more. And again. And lower down. Okay, bring those knees in. All right, especially if you've had the head lifted into an abdominal curl, just bring the arms out to the side and just turn the head, rotate the head as it's rested down onto the floor, right and left, a couple of times. That's it. So we're slowly creeping up with that abdominal intensity. And now we're going to take our crisscross. Very similar exercise, but we're crossing shoulder to opposite hip. Okay, so we're going to come into a double tabletop position for everybody. Draw the ribs towards the hips, gently press that blueberry behind the lower back. And this time, let's cup both hands behind the head. Okay, we're going to breathe in here. As we breathe out, we're going to extend the right leg as we take the right shoulder towards the left hip. So we come into that cross position. We inhale, return legs in and the head down. And we exhale, this time extend left leg and take left shoulder to right hip. Inhale, come down. Now the option here is to stay up in the center and not come out of that abdominal curl. So exhale on the twist, inhale on the center, always thinking shoulder to opposite hip, not elbow to knee. Let's go for 6 more. Okay, so I'm going to demo the lower option, coming back to the head down in between. Inhale, really use that outward breath on the effort. 4. 2. Still thinking shoulder to opposite hip to get the most of that twist and that oblique work. Relax down, relax those legs down, maybe take the head right and left a couple of times, and then let's come into a full body stretch and release as well. Oh, so we're really heavily working into that flexion at the moment. So we want to just do something to counteract that. So let's just take a couple of glute bridge roll-ups. Just, first of all, we're going to do 5, just nice and plain, either with the hands for stability either side of the body, or we're going to lift the hands parallel to the chest. Okay, so if you've had a block behind the head, take that away. Inhale, we're going to take that gentle arch. Exhale, we're going to roll and scoop to roll our pelvis off, pushing through our feet, creating that nice ski slope position. Don't go too high in arch. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll down top, middle to bottom. So imagine that you've got Velcro on your spine, and so your bottom lifts here as we tilt and curl. We're peeling the Velcro to mid-back, then to upper back, and we finish at the top of the shoulder blades. We inhale to pause and we exhale. We reattach that Velcro from in between the breastbone, mid-back, lower back, and bottom. Okay, let's do 3 more. So if you've not got the hands on the floor, we're just really concentrating on keeping that stability and that even weight distribution through both feet as we take our roll-ups and our lowers. That's it, lovely. So just 2 more of those. So we're just counteracting that forward flexion a little bit by just engaging through that posterior chain. 1 more, and we're gonna lower down. Okay, a little variation in that glute bridge now, if you just watch me. We are gonna roll up into our glute bridge. We're then gonna extend, this is quite strong, so be careful, I'll give you a lower option. We're gonna extend one leg out, and we're gonna take leg lifts up and down as we're in that single leg bridge. Now that is obviously quite strong in a single leg bridge. So if you know you're not there yet, maybe just take a couple of single leg bridges, alternating those leg lifts, or try heel lifts, alternate heel lifts, coming down whenever you need to. Okay, so arms out by your side, or for those that want an extra challenge, parallel. Let's roll up into our glute bridge. So either stay with heel lifts, leg lifts, or you're going to come with me and extend one leg away, but don't let those hips drop. Keep the core engaged, little posterior scoot. We're going to exhale, inhale, lower that leg. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. 6 more. Don't let those hips lift and lower. You'll be really feeling it within the posterior chain on that supporting leg. 2 more. This is a strong one, so if you need to come out of it, back to another variation, listen to your body. 1 more time. Return that leg back in. Don't let those hips sink. And we're going to extend the next leg. Okay, so exhale up, inhale down. Squeeze, really use your core. Yes, this is the legs. Yes, this is the posterior chain, but still think of that rib to hip connection, drawing those pelvic floor to support the lower back. 3. Any other variation, absolutely fine. If you needed to come down, listen to your body. 1 more time, bend the knee in, roll down through the spine. Oh, and let's just take the arms out nice and wide from there, and let's take a double knee fold to one side. Nice and gentle, release the knees down, but keep the shoulders square towards the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths here. Let's just take a pause. Breathe in that thoracic twist. If it feels nice, you can extend that top leg just to add a little bit more weight into that twist. Otherwise, keep both knees bent. Another nice deep breath in and out. And then we're going to come back to center and over the other way. That's it. So fold the knees the other way. Okay, but keep the shoulders square to the ceiling. Maybe extend that top leg if you want a little bit more twist added to that fold. Breathe. That's the most important thing. Good. Fold the knees back in, go back to center, and in any way that's good for you, we're going to come up to a seated position. So I like to do the little knees to chest, the slight rock back, and the slight rock up. Okie dokie. Hopefully you guys are all still with me. Give me a little bit of a wave so that I know everybody's okay. Good. So we are doing some quite challenging work during this session. So please just listen to your body, and you can always go back to something we've done in the beginning if you need to. Okay, so from a seated position, we're going to have a little look at our single leg lifts and double lifts to see if we can hold that balance. So first of all, I just want us to do some C-shaped roll downs, just halfway in return, just to get that initial scoop action, because we're going to use a little bit of that scoop as we stabilize. So just do a few of these for me, exhaling as you tuck your tailbone under, using the arms if you want for support, otherwise the arms can be out. So this is more of a mobility and a stability check. Before we take our lifts, remember to lengthen at the top, exhale, tuck that tailbone, feel that C-shaped roll back, use the hands if you need to. So we're doing 1 more, sit as tall as you can, tuck the tailbone, roll down. Inhale, hold, exhale, roll up. Okay, this time everybody keep the hands behind the thighs. We're going to inhale to sit as tall as we can. Exhale, we're going to take just a micro C-shape bend backwards, just slightly. So you feel that C shape here, you're nice and tucked with the core, shoulders are soft, and just come onto the tippy toes of the feet. So you feel like you might go back into that roll back, but you're not. You're going to use your core to pause that. And from there, we're just going to lift one leg off and return it back down. So we're staying in that scoop and we're just learning to lift one leg off at a time. Don't worry about the height of that leg. Just feel that stability. Can we lift one off and close it? Can we stay in that little micro C-shaped curve of the spine? Can we keep the shoulders soft and the chin tucked in as if we're gripping that little peach in between chin and chest? This time we're going to lift one leg. Squeeze your abdominals a little bit more, use the hands a little bit and see if you can lift that second leg off, drawing chest towards knees. Lower one leg down and then lower the other. We're going to do that 3 more times. We're going to lift one, an extra squeeze of the core. Can you lift both legs off? Lower one and lower down. If that's too strong, just stick with your singles for now. Okay, so 2 more of those lifts and holds. That's it, lower down, 1 more. And I'm going to get you to hold this for 10 seconds if you can. Lift your chest towards your legs a little bit more. And if you can you extend those legs out as well? Okay, lifting chest towards legs. Holding, breathing. Whew, challenging one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold in and let's counteract that by softening forwards. Any way you like, just soften forwards. So I decided to keep my legs crossed. I'm just softening forward and relaxing the head down to counteract that movement. Okay, so take a couple of breaths in your forward fold. Nice deep breath in and out through the mouth. Okay, we're then going to come back to our seated position and we're going to take our rolling like a ball exercise. So it's a little bit of a break in between, still a hard exercise, but still mobility leading that movement with that extra core tuck at the end to keep us stable. Okay, so feet are out in front, our hands behind us here, and then we're just going to come to the tippy toes a little bit if we can. Don't worry if you need to stay flat. We're inhaling to lift up. Exhale, let's take that rolling like a ball as we scoop through that shape we've just created. We rock back just to shoulder blades and then we inhale to come back up. So remember that scoop. Exhale on the scoop. Don't wait for me to do this. Go in your own time. Inhale up. Can you have that little pause at the top where you keep those feet up? That's it. Keeping the chin tucked in. Mobilize the spine as you rock back. And inhale up. Good. Probably a good job we all can't see each other doing this one or hear each other. 2 more. Outward breath on the rock back. Inward breath on the return. 1 last time. Inward breath up. Good. And this time, forward fold, but with the legs in front of us. Nice and gently. You can keep them slightly bent if you need to. And just fold forwards. Relax the head and take a couple of breaths here. Okay, lovely. Okay, next one, we are going to come down onto our forearms at the back. So we are leaning on our forearms and our elbows, and our hands and our fingertips are facing towards the front, towards our toes. Just make sure that when you're in this position, you don't sink and collapse into the shoulder girdle. Lift, push out through the floor, and keep that chin tucked. Okay, we're going to lift one leg off. We're going to draw ribs to hips to secure the core. We're going to lift both legs off from here. Squeeze the legs together so that the knees and ankles are touching, and we're just going to take a gentle soften to one side and then a squeeze to bring back to the middle. So the body is staying nice and straight, the upper body is staying activated, and we're just hinging our hips and our knees to one side and then coming back. But we're keeping the security of the core and we're staying lifted out of that shoulder girdle. 4 more. 4. Exhale away. Inhale back. 3. If that's too strong, you could go to double knee folds, either with flat down or from double tabletop there. Okay, I know for some people's shoulder girdle, that one might be a little bit strong. So just take your last couple. Inhale back to center. Exhale down. Inhale back to center. Lower one leg, lower 2, and let's release down and come into a full body stretch again. Oh, that's it. Okie dokie. So we are going to do our banana lifts, or I call them banana lifts. You're probably thinking, what on earth is she on about? If you are thinking that, probably the majority, have a look at your screen now. So you've got both legs long, both arms long, but by your side, fingertips facing towards your feet. Okay, I'm looking towards the ceiling. I'm going to breathe in. As I breathe out, I'm going to take that tummy tuck, that curl, As I extend one leg, both arms, and I'm going to reach and extend slightly. So I'm curving here, but I'm lengthening my arms and my leg, and they inhale to come back down. So it's like an abdominal curl. However, we're thinking more about the length and we're extending a single leg. Now, the idea is here, we either keep them nice and small like we're doing here, so coming to here is fine, or can you keep that mobility and can you roll up and lift up a little bit further with one leg and then roll back down? Okay, so that is the challenge, to use that mobility, that C shape, that thoracic curl into flexion, lengthen that leg away, lengthen the arms, and can you roll up a little bit longer, keeping that leg straight? It's a challenging movement involving stability and mobility. So if you need to, just come to that little tuck, extend one leg, feel that lengthen where you might start that activation and lower back down. Let's do 4 more. So those lifting higher, when you get to that midpoint, really shoot your fingers and your foot towards the front, use that tuck and come up, lengthen that leg to stop it gathering up in hip flexors. It is a strong one, to be very mindful of your level here. Otherwise, just extend a single leg lift, look towards that leg and lower back down. 1 more. Good, well done if you've been going into that lift, and soften back down again. Okay, just give everything a little mobilise as we're down on the floor, and then we're going to come up into a side lying position. So let's just take a couple of stretches before we do that. Nice and simple, in seated, either with the legs folded into a cross-legged position or just out in front. We're just going to take 6 alternate side bends. Inhaling through the centre and exhaling to soften to one side, softening the eye line down as we come through centre. That's it, lovely. So they've all been quite strong movements there into that forward flexion. Okay, so don't worry if there was any of those that you struggled with. I hope you all just listened to your body and did what you can. So 1 more side bend, and then we're going to take a side plank variation with threading the needle for those obliques. Okay, couple of shoulder rolls there. All right, so I'm coming onto my right hand side. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to return down to my forearm. So I'm on my elbow and forearm. Okay, fingertips facing forwards, and I'm going to lift. I'm going to imagine my mat's hot, and I'm going to tuck and I'm going to lift already. So I'm lifting out of the shoulder girdle using the core. Okay. From here, stay lifted in the obliques, but I'm going to take my other arm up. I'm going to inhale and look up to that arm. As I exhale, I'm going to thread it through as if I'm going to reach towards the back. I'm going to look towards it and twist. Okay, so we're just doing it with the hips down for 4, and then we're going to do another 4 with the hips lifted. So we inhale, look up to that hand. Exhale, try and tuck and scoop. So we're just creating that little tuck. 1 more. Inhale up, exhale, can we tuck a bit further away from the mat as we twist? Okay, so this one we pause here with the hips down. We're going to secure our core even more, and we're going to lift if we can, otherwise keep those hips down. Inhale, keep the hips lifted. Exhale, tuck underneath. Keep the hips up. Inhale, open out and look. Exhale, tuck. 1 more on this side. Inhale, look. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, look. And exhale, tuck. I know this is a strong movement for lots of different reasons. Let's come down. Let's come gently off that shoulder up to seated mermaid to hold into a side stretch this way. Okay, if you find seated mermaid awkward with the legs, open the legs so that one leg goes behind you, and then you might find that side bend the other way a little bit easier. Breathe. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. And whilst we're in that side bend, or if you want to, just return square. We're just going to circle that extended arm a couple of times and just feel any crunching or creaking within that shoulder girdle or chest. 1 more. That's it. Okay, then we're going to switch sides to do our last repetitions of our side plank with threading the needle. So keep square in the body, hips stacked. Okay, elbow just slightly outwards from the shoulder, but not too far away. Lift as if your mat's hot, tuck and lift. So top hip is going to go towards your feet. And lift and lengthen with that top arm. Inhale there, exhale, try and tuck a bit more and squeeze and reach through. 4 repetitions this way. That's it. Inhale up. Exhale, tuck and scoop. One more. Inhale up and exhale. So you can either stay here for another 4 reps or pause here. Just lift the obliques a little bit further. Squeeze with the core as we exhale and lift those hips up. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, tuck and scoop. Inhale up. Exhale, tuck. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down if you need to, off that shoulder girdle, but use your core to lift up, not just the forearm. Last one, then we're going to lower down. We're going to come up to seated mermaid stretch. Maybe take that top leg behind and come up and over with the arm and breathe. Some nice deep breaths. And then circle that top arm around a couple of times. And if you can't manage both, just bring that leg in and maybe take the hand onto the shoulder and take a couple of shoulder rolls. Okay, I just wanted to do one hip opener stretch to end with. So hopefully you don't mind me if I run over just a minute or two. If you have 2 of your yoga blocks or thick books, you could grab them as well to put on the end there just to help. Otherwise, the floor is absolutely fine. So we're going to be kneeling up in a high kneeling position and we're going to take one leg forwards. Nice and square with the body, parallel with the legs. Okay, and we're just going to take the hands down to the floor or down to the blocks, soften the shoulders away, and we're just going to draw our weight slightly further forwards into that front leg. Okay, so if we haven't got the blocks, we're just coming forwards. Okay, and we're softening the shoulders away from the ears, and we're just feeling that stretch up through the front of the thigh and into the hip. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths. If you feel strong enough there, push the front foot into the mat a little bit more, support with the core, and see if you can lift your arms up. So this time the front leg is actually pushing away from the mat. You've still got a stretch, but you're activating in that front heel to push you back up slightly as you reach up. So you're supporting, you're not just collapsing into that lunge. If you've got your arms down, stay there, take another deep breath in and out, and then return back in and switch those legs in your own time. Okay, so second leg out. So some of you might want to go straight into the arms extended exercise, and you're just going to soften that weight forward, but without collapsing. You're still pushing through that front heel as well, supporting in the core, and you're breathing here. Otherwise, you brought your hands down to the mat or down to the block, soften the shoulders, and you're just relaxing there, feeling that stretch up through the front of the thigh and the hip. Soften the shoulders and breathe. One more nice deep breath in and out. And return back up. Okay, bring those legs in, pop the blocks to one side. We're just going to roll up to standing really, really slowly. So from a 4-point kneeling position, you do have the option to go through downward dog if you want to on your roll up. So if you want to go to downward dog, you can lift up now and roll up. Otherwise, we're just going to bring the hands back towards the knees. And we'll spend a moment in your forward flexion. So if you've been through downward dog, just roll back in and soften those knees and just stay in forward flexion for a moment. And just make sure the head's nice and relaxed. So give the head a gentle nod, soften through the arms and the shoulders, lift the hips but keep the knees soft. And then on your next breath out, bend both knees, and we're just going to roll up really slowly through the spine. And we're just going to take one more roll down and roll up to finish with. So we're going to inhale, lift those arms. Exhale as those arms press down, nod the chin to the chest. Scoop, soften the knees, roll back down. If you want to at the bottom, fold the arms so that you're holding onto the opposite elbow. Relax the head and maybe just take a little hinge, a little swing either side. If you need the support of your legs, remember you can have the hands on the legs there. Couple of breaths here. Relax the arms down, and on the outward breath, we're going to fold and roll up. And we are finished once we are rolled up. Okay, I'm just going to stop that video there.